into that and why that's absolutely key and essential for losing weight. And they see really it's the only way to lose weight, right? And how it works on a vegan diet and why it's actually easier to do on a vegan diet and how to be successful with it so that you can do it, apply this principle to your fitness journey so that you can see success and not feel essentially the idea here is to not feel deprived or like you're missing out when you are dieting to lose weight, right? So first of all, let's go ahead and jump right in, guys. So I'm filming from my classroom. As you can see, I'm still here in my classroom. It's a beautiful Thursday. Just started the new month today, May 1st. Happy new month to you guys. Hopefully you're having an amazing start to this new month. Kind of a crazy busy day here. We got about 15 days of school left here, and it is pretty busy time of the year, wrapping up the school year. I am excited for the summer, definitely looking forward to it, but I'm also feeling, a little bit of that end of year, just kind of piling of work and things to do. But I'm here, I'm showing up for you guys, and I want to make sure I deliver this episode for you guys and this live so that you can get value here. So, first of all, let's go ahead and bust the myth once and for all that you need to have small, tiny portions in order to succeed with your weight loss journey. That simply is not the case, guys. I mean, you can do that. And many people think and associate dieting with small portions and really having meals that don't fill you up and are not satisfying at all. Well, we're going to bust that myth today. And with the concept of volume eating, you do not have to eat small portions and deprive yourself in order to be in a calorie deficit, in order to successfully and healthfully lose weight on a plant-based diet when you're eating in a calorie deficit. As I mentioned, is the only way to successfully shed weight is to be in a calorie deficit. So, first of all, let's go ahead and get into what is volume eating. Volume eating essentially is where you enjoy a lot of food for a minimal amount of calories. So, these are basically like large plates of food that have a lot of food that really fill you up without packing on the calories, essentially making it harder for you to lose weight. Because, like I said, you want to be in a calorie deficit. You got to eat less than your body burns every day, which means less calories than what you burn, right? So, volume eating is focusing on high volume, nutrient dense foods that are low in calories. And essentially, the best foods on the planet for this are going to be your vegetables and many fruits as well. Although there are a lot of fruits also that pack on the calories, but they're very low. There are some low calorie fruits that can be included as part of high volume eating, like, for example, strawberries and watermelon, for example, and other melons. But for the focus of this conversation, we're going to talk about vegetables because, as we all know, I think no matter what diet we're on, we can agree that vegetables are a very healthy, nutrient dense food. And there are many vegetables, almost all of them are packed with nutrients and are very low in calories. So the biggest bang for your buck is going to be vegetables that are nutrient dense and calorie rich, calorie low food. So you can really pack them on into meals, feeling full, feeling satisfied without packing on the calories. So that's essentially what volume eating is. So an example of a plate, let me give an example of something that I've been eating recently, which I end up eating this really big bowl and mentally, but also physically, because I feel it and I feel full afterwards. When I'm done eating this meal, I feel satisfied. I feel full. My body tells me that I've had enough food. And I'm also getting a lot of nutrients, meeting my protein goals. I'm getting a high protein amount in that meal. So, for example, I'm having a Greek inspired a salad for lunch, which is essentially on a bed of romaine lettuce. It is a mix of fava bean tofu, garbanzo beans, shredded lettuce. Um, what else do I have in there? I have some herbs and spices like thyme and oregano, and then it's a nice mix of a tahini dressing. Now, if this ends up being a really big plate on top of the greens, all that together provides me with over 50 grams of protein and is a very filling meal. and very flavorful because it's got the thyme, the oregano, salt, pepper, the tahini, which is just creamy, fatty, delicious dressing, right? And it ends up being this very big plate of food, very high volume food without packing on a bunch of calories. So it's a satisfying meal. I'm a big fan of power bowls. I've been having power bowls for breakfast, for lunch and dinner, where essentially is what you're hearing now is a big bowl of food seasoned to how I want it with a nice fatty dressing or a savory dressing or some kind of sauce or salsa on top, usually on a bed of greens, because greens are another great high volume food where you could eat a lot of greens, a big portion without packing on the calories. And the key here too is to the flavor and the seasonings you add to it, because vegetables on their own don't really have that much flavor, right? But when you add the tahini, when you add the salsa, when you put the herbs and the salt and pepper and the seasoning, it's what makes it really good. So that's an example, right? So the reason that power bowls and high volume eating works for weight loss is because it's going to help curb your cravings. Because you're feeling full, because you're providing yourself with high protein, high fiber meals that are also providing your body with a lot of nutrients, you're not going to feel cravings for food soon after. And you're going to curb your cravings throughout the day. And essentially, that's going to lead to you being consistent on your meal plan, on your fitness plan. And the more consistent you are, the faster and more streamlined your results are going to be, right? So, this is essentially, if you're a plant-based eater, a plant-based food, and you love, and you're a vegan, obviously you're here because you're listening to this podcast, you're here on this live because you're a vegan, is definitely include it's easy to include vegetables and fruits in your meal plan. So what I just explained is 100% vegan. Also for dinner, I'm having another power bowl, right? It has black beans, corn, vegan beef crumbles on top of a bed of shredded lettuce, a bunch of salsa on top. Again, another example of a high volume food, high volume meal. And it's perfect for vegans because as vegans, we want to, and really anybody on any diet for that matter, want to include a lot of vegetables in your meals. So by doing that, by piling them on and making them a staple in your meals, you really get to eat a lot of food, feel satisfied, feel full, get a lot of nutrients, and also meet your protein and calorie goals throughout the day, right? So um, oftentimes like I said, we want to bust the myth that you have to be eating small portions when you're trying to lose weight. You really don't have to. And essentially, guys, that's the key. That's the secret ingredient to being successful. If you find that you're struggling with cravings or you have in the past and you've not been able to stick to a calorie deficit, to a meal plan to lose weight over a period of 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks or more, this concept of volume eating is going to be the game changer for you. And you want to include meals that really allow you to eat a lot of food for a low amount of calories, but yet a lot of nutrients. And that's what volume eating does for you guys. So that's basically the concept that I want to share with you guys. And I gave you an example. There are a lot of other examples of high volume eating. Let me give you one more just to kind of give you an inspiration of what you can do for your meals. We typically think of salads, and salads tend to be kind of boring and bland. And it doesn't just have to be salads, although salads can be an example of a high volume meal, especially when you pack on a bunch of veggies. And again, the secret, whether you have a salad or a power bowl, like I just mentioned, the secret is the sauces that you use. Now, be careful with sauces because you also don't want to get high calorie, fatty dressings, like, for example, vegan ranch, which tastes amazing. But if you pour it on without making it part of your meal plan, it's going to pack on a bunch of fat and calories and it's essentially going to throw off your meal plan if you're not tracking it. Now, if you're tracking it and it's part of your plan, cool, then include it. Definitely include it. However, here's a little trick, a little structure that you can use for building a high volume meal, right? For lunch and dinner. So start with a protein. Let's take tofu, for example. You could take a block of tofu, half a block, whatever calls for your meal plan. Let's pretend for this example, we're going to take a half a block of extra firm tofu, cube it up. Start with that. You want to start with your protein as your base, and then include a three or four vegetables. Let's say, and maybe like a legume, like bean or lentil. So let's say you're going to use tofu, black beans, We're going to include in there some green peas, maybe some broccoli or cauliflower rice, and then also some green beans, right? And you're going to put that on a bed of greens because, again, you really get to pile on the greens and make it even more filling, right? So let's say spinach as an example. You could cook it or have it raw. And so you want to have your bed of greens, right? And then in a separate bowl, take all those other ingredients that I just mentioned, and you want to mix it with a nice sauce or something that's fatty or flavorful, like avocado, tahini, salsa, any kind of there's other low calorie options like barbecue sauces, ketchup, low calorie dressings. If you know the Walden Farm brands, they do 0 calorie like Caesar, ranch, Chipotle ranch. Just any nutritional yeast, salt, pepper, garlic, onion are always a great base to start with. Mix that up in a bowl with all the flavor, put that on top of your greens, and you just created a big power bowl with the high volume eating that's going to fill you up, hit your protein, hit your calorie targets, and curb your cravings and keep you consistent because that's the key, right? If you have these small, sad portions throughout the day and you think that's what being on a diet is, then you're going to be hungry later and it's you're not going to be consistent and you're not going to lose the weight, or you're going to yo-yo. You're going to lose the weight, gain it back, lose the weight, gain it back because you're letting cravings hit, guys. So that's it, guys. High volume eating, the secret to being successful with weight loss. If you've struggled with cravings or if you've struggled with being consistent, incorporate this concept into your plan, and it's going to make the whole process so much easier for you guys. So thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know, shoot me any questions if you have any questions about this concept or need more ideas, and I'll be happy to reach out to you, or reach out to me on Instagram, Luis_R Medrano. Shoot me a DM if you need help with other recipe ideas or need some more guidance on incorporating this secret hack into your meal plan, into your plan, so that you can be successful and achieve your weight loss goal as a vegan, as a plant-based foodie. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace, love, and happy eating.